Imagine waking up to the news that the very foundation of a national economy, one you've been closely watching for years, has just been digitally rewired overnight. This isn't a drill or a speculative theory anymore. This is the reality unfolding right now in Iraq as the Central Bank of Iraq, the CBI, has officially set into motion its plan for a central bank digital currency, the Digital Dinar, for every single investor, observer, and individual holding the Iraqi Dinar. This is the seismic event we have been waiting for, the tangible signal that all the whispers, all the analyst reports, and all the historical precedents were pointing towards something truly monumental. Let's be brutally honest with each other for a moment. The Iraqi dinar market has been a landscape filled with equal parts immense hope and agonizing patience, a roller coaster of potential where the promise of a revaluation has often felt like a mirage on a distant horizon, always shifting, never quite within reach. We've seen dates come and go, rumors flare up and fizzle out, and geopolitical tensions create waves of uncertainty that made it seem like the path to international normalization was perpetually blocked. But today, right now, the game has fundamentally changed because the introduction of a digital dinar is not merely a technological upgrade. It is the master key, the central pillar upon which the entire structure of a future revaluation can be logically and securely built. Think about the core problems that have historically plagued the Iraqi dinar's journey towards global acceptance. The pervasive issue of physical cash dominance leading to a massive monetary mass outside the banking system. The crippling lack of financial transparency which fosters corruption and makes international auditing a nightmare. The sheer logistical difficulty of managing and securing trillions of paper notes. And the reliance on a dollar-based auction system that undermines the sovereignty of the national currency. Every single one of these monumental challenges is directly and powerfully addressed by the architecture of a central bank digital currency. When the CBI issues a digital dinar, every unit is a direct liability on the central bank's balance sheet, created and tracked on a secure digital ledger. This means for the first time in Iraq's modern history, the CBI can achieve real-time, undeniable visibility over its entire money supply. They will know with pinpoint accuracy how much currency is in circulation, where it is moving, and the velocity of those transactions. This level of transparency is the absolute bedrock of international financial trust. It's what the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank have been urging Iraq to establish for decades. It eliminates the guesswork and the shadowy figures that have made global banks hesitant to engage fully with the IQD. Furthermore, this move is a direct and aggressive assault on the dollar monopoly within Iraq's domestic economy. By providing a secure state-backed digital alternative, the CBI is incentivizing citizens, businesses, and even government departments to move away from hoarding physical dollar bills and transacting in USD, and instead to begin using the digital dinar for salaries, large contracts, and everyday commerce. This isn't just about convenience, it's a strategic maneuver to re-anchor the Iraqi economy to its own currency, dramatically increasing its internal strength and perceived value. The success of this digital migration will directly correlate to a reduction in the demand for the dollar in the local market, which in turn strengthens the dinar's position and paves the way for the eventual deletion of the zeros from the old currency, a process that becomes infinitely smoother when a significant portion of the economy is already operating on a clean, new digital platform. This is the crucial first domino to fall, and its implications are so profound that to ignore them is to miss the entire story. So, if you've ever wondered what the actual trigger for a revaluation could look like, this is it happening in real time. This is the foundational shift that makes every subsequent step not just possible, but probable. Now let's pull back the curtain and look at the cold, hard mechanics of how this digital dinar transforms from a promising concept into the very engine of revaluation. Because understanding this process is what separates the informed observer from the passive spectator. The single most critical factor that has prevented the Iraqi dinar from achieving a stable and significantly higher exchange rate is the overwhelming and unmanageable money supply, the M2, which is estimated to be in the quadrillions of dinars, due to decades of printing currency to fund government operations amidst conflict and sanctions. This massive overhang of physical cash acts like an anchor, dragging down any potential for a substantial revaluation, because if you were to simply raise the value of the dinar against the dollar with all that currency in circulation, you would trigger hyperinflation of unimaginable proportions overnight. This is the fundamental paradox that has trapped the IQD for years. The digital dinar provides the elegant, and perhaps the only viable, solution to this seemingly unsolvable problem through a process known as a currency swap or asset conversion. Here's how it will realistically work. See, when the Central Bank of Iraq is ready, they will announce a window for the public to exchange their physical dinar notes for the new digital dinar. This isn't a one-to-one simple exchange. It is a structured monetary reform package as a technological upgrade. Citizens will be able to bring their large stacks of lower denomination notes, the 25,000 dinar notes, the 10,000, 5,000, and convert them into a digital wallet. But the key will be in the conversion rate and the limits set by the CBI. They might, for instance, allow a certain amount to be converted at a favorable rate, effectively demonetizing the excess physical currency held outside the formal economy. This process does two things simultaneously with surgical precision. First, it successfully draws the trillions of dinars in physical cash out of mattresses, suitcases, and the shadow economy and brings them into the regulated, transparent banking system where every digital dinar is accounted for and tracked. Second, and this is the master stroke, it allows the central bank to effectively reduce the overall money supply by controlling the terms of the exchange, nullifying the inflationary pressure of the old currency. Once the bulk of the monetary value is securely housed within the digital ledger, the government can then proceed with the long-planned project to delete the zeros by introducing new, lower denomination physical notes that are pegged one diver to one with the digital dinar. So you might have a new one dinar note that is worth the same as one digital dinar, which itself has a new, significantly stronger value against the US dollar. This creates a two-tiered system of modern, efficient digital currency for large transactions and international trade, and a new, manageable supply of physical cash for daily small-scale commerce. This entire strategy is not theoretical. It is a page taken directly from the playbooks of other nations that have undergone successful monetary reforms, but supercharged with 21st century blockchain adjacent technology. The digital dinar becomes the stable, trusted benchmark, the gold standard in digital form, and the new physical dinar becomes its tangible representation. This is how you lift an economy out of the morass of a devalued currency without causing societal chaos. The CBI is methodically building the digital railway first, and once that track is laid and tested, they will run the new high-value train on it. Every day that the digital dinar gains adoption is a day that the foundation for the new exchange rate grows stronger and more resilient. The revaluation is not an isolated event that happens in a vacuum. It is the final logical step in this meticulously orchestrated process of replacing the old, bloated monetary system with a new, lean, and powerful digital-first framework. To see the digital dinar launch is to witness the construction of that new framework in real time. So where does this leave us? The global audience, the investors, and the keen observers who have been patiently navigating this complex landscape. The introduction of the digital dinar fundamentally shifts our role from being passive waiters on the sidelines to becoming active analysts of a live, unfolding economic transformation. The waiting game is over, the analysis game has now begun, and your focus must pivot from asking if to meticulously tracking how and when. The when for the revaluation will no longer be a subject of baseless speculation or cryptic guru predictions. It will be dictated by a series of very public, very tangible milestones that the Central Bank of Iraq must achieve in the coming months. Your new dashboard for gauging the imminent reality of the RV will be the adoption metrics of the digital dinar itself. You need to be watching for the official announcements regarding the pilot programs, which commercial banks are being integrated first, which government sectors, like the Ministry of Oil or the Ministry of Electricity, will start processing salaries and receiving payments in the digital currency. Watch for the volume of transactions migrating from the physical dollar to the digital dinar in the daily currency auction reports. A sustained decline in dollar demand will be a roaring siren of success. Pay close attention to the statements from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank following their next review missions to Iraq. Their language will evolve from urging reforms to acknowledging concrete progress, and their endorsement is the final green light that the international banking community awaits. Furthermore, keep a hawk's eye on Iraq's correspondence with the International Financial Messaging System, SCU-IFT. The integration of the digital dinar platform with SCU-IFT is a non-negotiable step for global trade and will signal technical readiness for a new exchange rate. This is no longer about faith. It is about forensic observation of data and official policy implementation. The CBI has laid its cards on the table with the digital dinar, and this move commits them to an irreversible path. The pressure to succeed is immense, not just from within Iraq, where the public demands economic stability and an end to the dollar crisis, also from external powers and investors who see a stable and valuable Iraq as a crucial cornerstone for regional and global economic growth. The dominoes are now lined up. The digital infrastructure is being built. The legal frameworks are being passed. and the geopolitical will evidenced by Iraq's growing regional economic partnerships is firmly in place. The final domino to fall is the mass public and corporate adoption of this new digital currency, and as that happens, the revaluation becomes a mathematical and logistical inevitability, the final act in a grand play that is already in its third act. This is the moment we have been preparing for, where knowledge and patience converge with a tangible, historic opportunity. Therefore, your action step is crystal clear. Do not just watch this story, study it. Become an active participant in your own financial education. I want you to go down into the comment section right now and tell me one milestone you will be watching for most closely. Is it the first government salary paid in digital dinar, the first drop to zero in the dollar auction, or the first official IMF report praising the progress? Share your insight, because this is a community of analysts, not just believers. Then smash that like button and share this video with one person who needs to see this realistic, data-driven breakdown. The noise ends here. The signal is the digital dinar. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, because as each of these milestones is hit, I will be here with another urgent update, breaking down the complex developments into this clear, actionable knowledge. The journey to revaluation is now a visible path, and we are walking it together step by documented step.